If a black ICE van pulled you over, or you were preparing to vote, or if you were signing up for government benefits, or if you were applying for a loan, could you prove that you are an American citizen? And if you could prove it, how long would it take? The reason I'm bringing this up is because less than a month ago, a U.S. government official looked me straight in the eye and gave me the shock of my life by saying, "Sir, we have no record of you being a U.S. citizen." This is Dr. C. Dexter Wise III with another edition of Wow, a word from the wise on Wednesday. Here's what happened to me. I was filling out some documents and they required that I attach two forms of identification which proved my U.S. citizenship. Well, I looked for my passport and discovered that it had just expired a few months ago. And even though I know my Social Security number, I haven't seen my actual Social Security number since I was a teenager in 1967. So I got up early one morning, went to the Social Security office to apply for a new Social Security card. Needless to say, I had to sit there forever. But they finally called my number. I went to the counter and told the lady I wanted to apply for a copy of my Social Security card. She asked for my ID. I gave her my driver's license, and then she said, "I'm also going to need your birth certificate," which I did not have. She said, "Sir, I'm sorry. I cannot help you without your birth certificate." So I left. I went home, and it took me a week to find my birth certificate. When I finally found my birth certificate, I went back. I sat in the office for another hour and a half. And while I was there, my mom called me out of the blue, and I told her, "I'm in the Social Security office. I'll call you when I get out." Well, they called my number. I walked up to the counter. Then a different lady asked for my driver's license and my birth certificate. I gave her my driver's license and my birth certificates, and she said to me, "I am sorry, sir. This birth certificate only proves that you were born. It does not prove you are a U.S. citizen." I said, "You mean to tell me I've been living in this country for over 70 years and you telling me I am not a citizen?" She said, "I'm not saying you're not a citizen. I'm just saying we have no record of it." The problem was I was born in Bermuda on a U.S. Air Force base because my father was stationed there. So even though both my parents were born as U.S. citizens in Baltimore, Maryland, I was born abroad, and they needed a document from the State Department which said that I was born abroad to U.S. citizens and that I was in fact a citizen of the United States. Then she told me I needed a form from the State Department to verify it and that might take 2 months. Then after I got that form, I would have to come back to them, and it would take another 5 to 10 days to get my Social Security card. Needless to say, I was not a happy camper. So I left again. I went and got in my car. I called my mom. I called her back, and I told her what happened to me. And I told her that I needed a document from the State Department saying that I had been born abroad. And she said, "Your sister has it." I said, "What? My sister has what?" She says, "Your sister has your original birth certificate and the document from the embassy which verifies you were born abroad to U.S. citizens and that you are a U.S. citizen." Now, throughout this whole process, it never occurred to me that my 92-year-old mother would have it. She's moved 10 times in the last 70 years, and she still had my birth certificate. This is the reason why Mother's Day is the number one holiday, second only to Christmas. Well, my sister sent it to me. I went back to the Social Security office for a third time. This time, when I presented my birth certificate and the 72-year-old original document from the U.S. Embassy, the woman said, "This is what I'm looking for, except the form is so old that the numbers on it do not match the numbers in our new system." So she left the counter, went back to speak to her manager, and somehow they figured it out. They figured out a workaround. They accepted my papers, and 2 weeks later, I got my Social Security card. Now, suppose I had been in jail. Suppose I was getting ready to vote. Suppose I was trying to buy a house. I would have been in a world of hurt. So the moral of the story is, don't assume that just because you have a driver's license and have been walking around the United States for 56 years and that doesn't mean that you are a citizen. Because according to the new standards and the new rules, if you don't have your papers together, you may not be. Get your birth certificate. Update your passport. Even if you don't plan to go anywhere, put them in a safe place because it may be something you will need at the last moment. Please, please, please share this video with as many people as you can because I don't want what happened to me to happen to them or happen to you. This is Dr. C. Dexter Wise III. Feel free to follow me, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. Also, check out our church website at www.faithministries.church. And to learn more about my books, my products, my services, and the Wise School of Ministry, visit www.wiseworksonline.net. See you next week.